so look what showed up. The metal package, or part of it at least. Just the blanks. But anyways, we'll get to work on breaking this up. Alright, so in this episode, I think I'm gonna focus on getting everything all trimmed out and ready for the corrugated steel to arrive. Now the reason it's not here quite yet is because they only roll it every 2 weeks. So I requested to have the blanks delivered first so I could get to work on getting everything made up that way.
Yeah, so I moved these stepping stones. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Feel light out front. Yeah.
Now this one's just kind of a cover sheet, I guess. Now I ordered the blanks in 30 gauge and the panels in 26 gauge. Basically because my brake, I'm not sure if it could handle 26 gauge high tensile steel. I've heard that the Mark 1s aren't the greatest when it comes to that thickness. It tends to slip in the jaws. I've never actually tried it, but I just wanted to play it safe. Okay, so I guess the first thing I'll do is mark out. I think I'll go with a 10-inch ridge cap. That's the first thing that I'll break. So if I mark this at 10 inches and put that in the jaw, it'll cut it 1.5 inches away, which will leave me room for a 3/4 inch hem and still have 10 inches. Now it looks like all of these have a little damage to them. The whole stack must have got bent. Now I'm gonna have to get these back here without wrecking anything. It's a lot nicer carrying these 30 gauge ones than the 26. They're noticeably lighter. Now this is the hard part, trying to do this without wrinkling them. Oh, there we go. On a lighter gauge like this, it's going to be very difficult. There. I think I did not too bad. Now I'll pull it as far this way as I can, just so I can get my trim cutter in there. This is actually the first time I've broke full lengths of steel on my brake, so we'll I guess we'll find out how it goes here. Make sure that's lined right up. Okay, that's pretty close there. Alright, let's give that a try. details here. I really gotta oil this thing. This thing's been sitting outside for like 3 months. Well, that's a little embarrassing, but the ham should cover that. Okay, now what I'm gonna do here, just so I don't bend this stuff too much, is I'm gonna ham up just like that, and I won't close that ham. I hope you can see what I'm doing through the camera here and it's not too high. Ham that all the way. I'll flip this back around. Complete that. The reason I did that was just to give it some strength while I was moving it there, so I didn't kink the whole thing. Okay, now I'll open this wide up and I'll just make sure we're at like 9 and 15/16 there and 10 right there, so close enough. Better not let that fall. Okay, that's not working. Better just use the Sharpie. Five inches there. 5 inches there. That I really have to be super precise here, but I'm kind of picky, so okay, that should be close enough. And then since it's a 12-12 pitch roof, bend that right to a 90, a little more than a 90, just to give it a bit of tension. And there, that's the ridge cap. So now, I think I got everything I need to install this on me, so climb right up there. Yeah, the only thing about the galvanized is it seems to scratch pretty easily. Whereas Galvalume, you can be a little rougher with it because it's not so shiny. Now there's a few different ways to cap off cedar shingles. This is my preferred method, I guess. Sometimes they'll take the shingles and like actually put them going this way in the form of a ridge cap, and that's just, it's so high profile, and I don't know, I don't really like that. And then this is just kind of what I've seen done on older houses and whatever, but now I'm sure people are going to get on me about this, but I'm going to be fastening these with regular shingle nails simply because that's how they used to do it. So maybe I won't be. That's a little much for a nail to go through. I may have to go up above the hem. That nail is way too big. If I keep them up above the hem, it should work fine. Now I just gotta straddle the ridge. Now I'm doing it like that partly because it's more original before the time that they had a rubber washer screw, and partly because I don't have any screws right now. Those are coming with the rest of the metal package. Okay, that's pretty much right on the ridge there. I don't know, if I nail it every couple feet, that should probably be enough. And 22 inches. I'll just space these evenly just for the visual effect from the ground. Bent that one. Perfect. Okay, ridge is on. And I'll just tweak up the back a little bit. Probably cut it and then fold it over the shingles so it kind of gives it a cleaner capped off look. But yeah. Now from the ground it doesn't really look too bad. Just wraps around the shingles nicely. Kind of hooks it on there, just gives it a little more protection in a wind event, but I don't know, from the ground that looks about the right proportions. Kind of gives that top course the right exposure. So yeah, I guess it'll be on to breaking J next probably. Alright, so I'm just working on putting J on. I got most of it here. I'm just working up on the back side. So next piece I need is 26. And then 2 inches up, I'll have to bend it over. That bottom part's basically just for looks because I didn't measure quite right and something went wonky up here. So this will kind of square everything off. I didn't bring this piece out far enough. Just gotta get up here. Get that in behind. And then those bottoms line right up. So that kind of sort of fixes the problem. There, and then I'll just do that side and it'll pretty much look all like this. All right, so I came up with a little bit of a different idea here. Back to the crown molding thing, I kind of wanted it to be a little beefier. So I had some of the same stuff that I used for the base drip edge there. So I had quite a bit of that left over, so I just figured I'd use it up here because it's 3/4 on the flat and then it goes on an angle down to 3/8. So that kind of gives it a little more substantial look. And once that's all painted black, it should look fine. I just kind of angled it the same way on the end there. So I think that'll look quite a bit better actually. And then I'll just do the cove molding beneath everything. All right, so what I'm doing now, I just broke these pieces and they're out of the black aluminum. So I'm gonna put them along the base here so the metal can sit on there, just so that we don't, because it'll be tight in some spots and there's a bit of a gap here because the board cupped out and I just don't want any water running down there. So this piece here, I kind of screwed up on it. I went to the wrong mark, so it's broke on a skew, but that doesn't matter. First few of these are still brad nails. I did put staples in here. There must have been quite a few brad nails. Oh, there's the first staple. There, then the metal will sit on here, cover that so no water will be getting in there. I'll go do that on all the sides. All right, well, I got those pieces up. I think that makes it look a little better, kind of finishes it off. And then I'm just taking the cove molding and putting it around just to kind of trim everything out. I could have gone with a bit of a beefier, like a crown molding or something, but I don't know. That should look fine. Okay, so one thing that I decided to do here just to keep these in, and I'll show you a little trick if you're ever working with metal and need to cut or keep the two pieces together like this. So I just take the marker, put it right on the corner of this piece, and then bend it out and just draw that curve. And then I take my snips and just follow that curve with the snips. This one's gonna be a little bit tricky. And then what that allows you to do, I'll just make sure these are opened up, these hems. And then what that allows you to do is bend this out like that, and then that curve will follow in there and you can close it, and then that won't come undone. I can get this one in. And then it just tucks into itself like that. And then when it goes up there, I'll tap it together and make sure it's all tight and everything. But that's basically how you keep the seams from coming undone. Well, what I'm gonna start working on now is the cap for the top here. It'll just be a 2x8. I'll let it hang 3/4 over so I can put one of the J's in here and do metal on the back side, and then it'll hang over probably about that far, and then I'll let it hang over the same amount on these sides. So that'll just kind of give it a nice capped look, and then I will clad that with the galvanized steel. So I'll get my measurements for these, get them put on, and then cap them. Alright, so I'm just starting on the cap here. I got the piece made. I just left it a little longer at the back just so I'm sure that it covers, because I don't want to put a J on the top because then I'll never get those pieces in. So I'll just use this as a J essentially to cover those pieces. So what I've got marked out here is 1 3/4 inches, and the reason for that is because I have to cap it on the other side so it's not open. So this is 1 inch and the hem is 3/4. So I'll just have to hem this with the seamers and then fold it over. This is gonna be kind of confusing and interesting, but I've done stuff like this before, so I don't think it should be too much of an issue. Now I'm not gonna cut anything else just yet. Actually, I'll use the Sharpie so I know I can see these marks. Maybe I'll just glide this along here. Okay, so that's the mark for my ham. Just kind of bend that stuff out of the way. I'm just gonna get a crease worked into it here. I don't have any 9-inch seamers. All I've got is 15s. That's the next biggest size I have. The 9s would be perfect for this application because this piece is 9 1/4. Just squeeze that down tight. And there, you can't tell the difference from that hem between the seamers and the one I made on the break. Now I'll just take another look at where an inch is. Make sure this is indeed an inch, which it is. So I'll just cut this a tiny bit further. Where did my left ones go? Wrong tool. And then it was just like a 16th past there. There, that's perfect. Now, I should probably have folded that over first, but I didn't. So what I'm gonna do, I better just do it the way I was gonna do it. Really like unbending stuff because then you can't really get it back. Just like that. And then I better do the same with this one too. Except I can't really get the seamers in there. It's kind of all bent up goofy just because I didn't have the proper seamers, but I can kind of tin bash that down once I get it in place. Now, the measurement I needed was 55 3/8. I think, actually. I better go check that. I have a track record of not being able to remember measurements I took. So I would hate to go to all that work just to have to redo everything. Yeah, 55 3/8. Now I'll probably go mark everything at 55.5 just to allow for all the bends and everything to kind of, and then everything should be sort of tight. Myself an extra 1/8 of room. Okay, we'll go 1 inch and 3/4 more. I'll leave a little extra room on that one too, because this end is crucial that I get it right. If something comes up too short on this end, well, this stuff is so reflective. When the sun shines, I can feel the heat coming off of it when the sun shines on it the right way. Okay, I'll make my 3/4 inch mark. There, that's hemmed. And we have exactly an inch there, so we're perfect. Now I'll remember to actually fold these in this time. First. Okay, here we go. Better make sure this actually works. Okay, now this piece, I think what I'll do is just cut that there and then hem this. Probably need the other hand. All right, let's see how we did. Hopefully there's not too much trouble. I will have to do another coat of paint on here though, just because before I actually put this on. Hitting on something. Oh, just that hand. I'd say that fits on pretty nice. Nice and tight. Yeah, now I guess I will have to do something different here. I'll just have to trim that and cut it back to here probably before I actually fasten it, but let's just take a look at that from the ground. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. Once I get those sides tacked in tight and get some more paint up there, I think that'll look pretty good. Alright, so I got all this done. Now I'm just gonna throw some paint on it and then cap it, I guess. I'm hoping. Oh yeah, that should look pretty nice with paint on it. I'll just paint the bottom of it, and then the galvanized cap will go over the top and come down to here. I think that'll look the best. Then there'll be a little bit of galvanized showing on the front, but not too much. And the reason I'm using galvanized, other than the fact that I like the way it looks, is because that's the only metal that they had back then. They didn't have painted high tensile steel or anything like that. So galvanized is just the classic look, and I actually don't mind it. I'll get a little bit of paint on here just in case something doesn't quite come all the way down. Alright, so I think I'm going to leave it there for episode 14. Episode 15 will consist of actually applying the corrugated steel, which I think will look pretty cool. Something I just wanted to announce or put out there is this coming weekend, Saturday, September 5th, I think. I'm planning to have a grand opening of the saloon. I'm going to try and get as much done as I possibly can and try and have it as close to finished as I possibly can. So I'd just kind of like to invite everyone who would be willing to come out to Aquadeo and just take a look at the saloon, have a few drinks, everything like that. I mean, as far as the COVID regulations go, I think if we all just kind of keep our breath down and distance that way, we should be fine. You're allowed 30 people in Saskatchewan for an outdoor gathering, which I don't think will hit 30 people. I don't know how many local subscribers there are out there who would actually like to stop by, but I just thought I'd put that out there that anytime on Saturday, September 5th, feel free to stop by and check out the saloon. Also, I forgot to mention, just check out my Facebook group if you haven't already, and I'll try and post an exact location on there for anybody who wants to come. So be sure to check that out and stay healthy, everyone. Now the real corrugated metal package finally arrived. I'm really happy with this stuff. This stuff is pretty cool.